Hey, thanks for tuning in to Football Predictions and Wine Pairings with me, Francis. Now, as you know, there's no football to be had right now, but it's the month of March and March Madness has started, and so there is basketball nonstop, and I cannot stand how excited I am about being able to watch basketball basically 12 hours a day, on Thursday and Friday, and also Saturday, Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to make it outside of the house. Like, that is 100% honest. But it's also Women's History Month, so I have a great wine for you that was made by a female winemaker. Now, I'm opening this bottle of wine today, and I have to say that I am drinking it a little bit in defeat and not in elation like I had hoped. My childhood college crush team, Marquette, decided that getting bounced in the first round was what they were going to be doing. So now I am a woman in search of a team to root for the rest of March Madness. I mean, there are some good teams still left. There's Michigan State, there's UConn, there's St. Mary's. They won their game in a real nail biter. The other thing is that I'm very excited to know that the California Berkeley women's team is going to be playing on Saturday, and hopefully they don't get bounced in the first round, and then I can put all my energy behind them. Even if they do get bounced in the first round, this bottle of wine is so good, I will 100% get over it. Okay, so today's bottle of wine is a bottle of wine that I represent as Amandus Wines. If you want this bottle of wine, the only way for you to get it is to contact me. There is no other place that you can go to get this bottle of wine. I also need to let you know that this is not a value wine. We've done a lot of value wines because sometimes you just need a wine on Tuesday night. This is a wine that I'm going to drink on Friday and Saturday, but it is an $80 bottle of wine. So bear that in mind. But there is definitely a noticeable difference in the way that this bottle of wine tastes versus some of the other ones. So today's wine is Chateau des Maures Moulin à Vin 2015. Now I want to point out that I did not find out how to pronounce this, and sadly I don't speak French, but I did Google this to find out the translation, and this right here means old vines. And all of the grapes inside of this bottle came from vines that are 65 years or older. So this wine was made by a team. So I feel like I probably only get half credit because it is 5 generations in the same family, and it is made by a dad named Gilles and his daughter, Anne Victoria. And Anne Victoria has a secondary line of wine that she makes called Miss Vicky's. I do not represent those wines, but I do represent this one, and it's like so good. Now, this wine comes from an area called Beaujolais. Moulin à Vin is in Beaujolais, and I want to let you know right now that Beaujolais is a place south of Burgundy. It is not a grape. It is not a wine style. Often we hear, oh, I'll just have this Beaujolais, Nouveau Beaujolais, thinking that that is the grape. That is not it. That is the location. The grape that is in this bottle is called Gamay. Now, in France, the way that the wines are laid out is they're laid out by location, not by varietal. So you have to know in advance what's in the bottle because it does not say on the bottle what it is. So that makes it a little bit tricky. If you're getting a wine, let's say from California or New Zealand, it will say Gamay, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, whatever the variety is, it will say that. It is a different standard than what you have with Old World European wines. Likewise, with the Old World European wine, French wines in particular, I like to always let them rest about 30 minutes before I actually drink it because it gives it a time to aerate, get that oxygen in, and then just really open up and be the great wine that it's destined to be. This bottle is now 10 years old, and it sat in an oak case for 10 months. So because of that, it does not have a lot of heavy oak flavor that you would expect. Now, you may not be familiar with Gamay, and that's totally fine. Gamay is very similar to Pinot Noir. It is a red grape that has kind of a light to medium body. So it's easy for people who are just getting into drinking red wines to get into, but it's also a nice choice if it's a little bit warmer. I mean, nobody wants to be drinking a heavy Cabernet Sauvignon or Cabernet Franc when it's like 80 degrees outside. Sometimes it's 80 degrees and you want red wine. This wine, Gamay, will do the job. So if you take a look in the glass, you'll see here that it's a beautiful dark ruby color. And if you were here with me, you would see that the edge of the wine is a brick red color. And that brick red color is probably coming from the fact that this wine is 10 years old. You know, as wine sits, it starts to change color. And so when this wine was probably first bottled, and if you'd opened it around then, it probably was a really vibrant kind of a purple. But as time goes on, it starts to get darker. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how this wine smells and tastes. Okay, so on the smell, the first thing that I'm getting straight away is violets, the flowers. And there's also a smell of a little bit of black currant and a little bit of leather. On the tongue, it's kind of a low tannin wine. So you're getting a little bit of tannins right when you start, but then they dissipate and it just becomes a really smooth, silky wine that you can finish out. The next flavor that you're getting is a little bit plummy, and we're getting a little bit of black currant at the same time. This wine is super enjoyable, and I will be pairing this wine with a cheeseburger. Now, you may be thinking, who is pairing an $80 bottle of wine with a cheeseburger? Aside from me, I think it should be you, okay? Sometimes you just have to take an indulgence that doesn't seem to make any sense and really enjoy it. So I want to remind you again a little bit about this wine because I want you to contact me to get it because it's fantastic. All right. This wine comes from France. It comes from 5 generations in the same family. This is one of the last years that they had before they became 100% organic. And for France, there's a lot of paperwork. So often vineyards had already started becoming organic, but they haven't gotten all the paperwork in order. So they will have all their paperwork in order next year. So that way everything will be able to be labeled as organic because the standard there is much higher than here in the US. And it's just super great and you should get it. So let me show it to you again. Chateau des Marins, Moulin-à-Vent, 2015. Get it, get it. Root for some teams in March Madness. There's so many games available. There's got to be somebody for you to get behind. And I will talk to you soon. Go team. Cheers.